What's the date today?
The 12th.
12th, yeah. We are here today on March 12th at UCLA, and it's a beautiful day in Los Angeles. What's about 75 degrees? Eat your heart out, East Coast. All right, and we're going to debate the question, be it resolved that U.S. should unilaterally reduce carbon emissions. Let me say that again. Be it resolved that the United States should unilaterally reduce carbon emissions. And there was more to this resolution, but I guess there was a lack of wanting to write it all out. There was some mention of China and India, correct? Yes, okay. For the proposition is hazy, and for the opposition is Nick.
Hi, I'm Hazy.
Hi, Hazy. Nice loud speech voice, please.
This proposition is to be presented as a policy case in the affirmative. So what is the problem? Due to the heavy reliance on fossil fuels, gas, coal, and oil as a source of energy, the global emission of carbon dioxide is increasing at a dangerous rate. For example, according to the Natural Climate Change Agency, in 2010, global carbon dioxide emissions from fossil fuel combustion and cement production grew 5.9% in 2010. In 2011, the actual global emission increased by 1.4%, reaching a total of 34.5 billion tons in 2012. This problem is becoming more serious as many developing countries target for higher economic growth. For example, the CO2 emission in developing countries increased 4.4% in 2008 and 7.6% in 2010. In 2012, China accounted for 29% of the total global carbon dioxide emission, according to the Renewable and Sustainable Energy Review. So how big is the problem? The rapid increase in carbon emission is causing changes to the global climate that can possibly bring catastrophic effects. For example, following the current rate of carbon emission, it is estimated to cause a long-term average temperature increase of more than 3.5 degrees Celsius, assuming the implementation of recent government policies commitment, or 6 degrees Celsius without them. So why do we have the problem? The United States remains to be one of the top 3 most carbon-emitting countries globally and thus shares a massive responsibility in the problem. In 2012, for example, the top 3 carbon-emitting countries and regions accounted for 55%, which is more than 0.5% of the total global carbon dioxide emission. According to Renewable and Sustainable Energy Review, the United States account for 16% of the total carbon dioxide emission. This is becoming a more serious problem because Americans are consuming about 3 times more energy than 1950, and coal and natural gas, which both causes carbon emission, accounts for more than half of United States energy sources. So what is the solution? The solution, I propose that the United States should unilaterally reduce carbon emission by investigating in sustainable energy resources. Global warming is a serious issue and thus it needs to be addressed by the United States and its policies. Will the solution work? Investment in sustainable green energy will bring long-term benefits to the environment. For example, the 13% decrease in carbon dioxide emission of the United States in 2012 was possible through a shift to sustainable energy resources. According to current rate of investment, by 2050, the United States will rely 80% of its energy sources on renewable energy, according to the Nature Journal. Also, decreasing carbon emission will have significant effects on mitigating the problems of global warming. What are the advantages to the proposal? In the long run, the use of renewable energy source is cost efficient. And for example, according to Nature Journal, the lowest full levelized cost of electricity for combined cycle nature gas is about 50 to 60 million watts per hour. An affordable and environmentally sustainable electricity generation is already at cost parity in areas in which energy cost exceeds $200 per megawatts per hour. Appropriate investment in development of renewable energy has significant potential for the future. For example, marginal lands provide an opportunity for increasing the share of renewable energy in the country's energy mix and meeting clean energy targets. For example, Milbrand and other authors suggest that according that 4 watts of electricity can be produced on marginal lands from photovoltaic or concentrating solar power only. On balance, which outweighs, while shifting to renewable resources will require long-term investment, its benefits outweigh the disadvantages of the cost. Global warming is a major issue that all nations must tackle in order to conserve the planet, and as a major power, as well as a major contributor to the problem, the United States should unilaterally reduce carbon emissions regardless of whether China, India, and developing countries cooperate. Now, I now open for
Cross-examination and points of clarification. That was 440. Be a little more vocal with the time so she can say 2, 1, time. You know, yeah. Okay, Nick, rock and roll.
So, how would you pay for these expensive investments in the short term now, and how do we make a change to the renewables?
in the short term, it should be from the government taxes and investments, and it would be probably coming from the same resources that we are using for the current energy resources, but we will be investing in research and development for the new renewable sources such as solar power and wind power, which is already in progress.
It was mentioned that CO2 increase will increase temperatures, and this will cause a lot of problems, but how will this directly affect the United States?
Well, global warming is now a global problem that all countries must be addressing, and since the United States is one of the main contributors to the problem, it should be participating in solving the problems as well. And for example, according to NASA, by 2020, all...
Okay, thank you very much. Chair will now recognize the Leader of the Opposition for a speech not to exceed 4 minutes in length. Hear, hear.
Hi, I'm Nick.
Hi, Nick.
I'm presenting this in the negative that the United States should not unilaterally reduce its carbon emissions, regardless of whether India, China, and developing countries cooperate. According to the EPA, since the Industrial Revolution in 1750, carbon emissions have been increasing and global warming is happening, and there's a scientific consensus that it is happening, and I'm not going to stand here and deny it. However, reducing carbon emissions to the point where it would stop climate change is not economically responsible or viable. The production of exportation and use of oil and natural gas are quintessential parts of the United States economy and societal functioning. To reduce this industry in any way would mean a crippling loss of jobs and monetary gain that the United States relies on to support its economy. According to statistics in 2015 from the U.S. Energy Information Administration, the United States produces an average 9.3 million barrels of crude oil every day, and this average is growing. Also, from 2007 to 2012, the oil and natural gas industry has increased more than 162,000 jobs and a 40% increase. The central problem and unfortunate reality of the situation is that no reduction in carbon emissions would stop global temperatures from rising. According to the Earth Observatory, an online publishing outlet for NASA, global warming would continue increasing for decades even if we were to stop existing tomorrow. Therefore, it would be unreasonable for the United States to act unilaterally to reduce carbon emissions, as it would do little to stop climate change, especially if India and China don't follow the same model we do. How big is the problem? The impact of climate change in the United States may not be as problematic as some may make it out to be. According to the Global Adaptation Index, which is an annual study by Notre Dame, the U.S. currently ranks as the 8th most prepared country in dealing with climate change. 2 minutes. This is because the United States has enough natural resources and cropland to deal with the problem. So why do we have the problem? Fossil fuels are currently cheaper than renewable resources. And because changing to renewable resources would be expensive, China and India would not follow, and this would not reduce climate change in any significant way. What is the solution? The United States should transition to renewable energy sources without compromising its economic integrity. This can be done smoothly by transitioning through natural gas. Natural gas is twice as clean as coal, and According to an Economist article in 2014, saving money through this short-term transitional energy source could allow countries the financial flexibility to actually invest in longer-term solutions. So will this solution work? Transitioning to natural gas is the most economically viable plan. According to the Earth Policy Institute, Lester Brown, natural gas is likely to overtake oil as the world's leading energy source in the next 20 years. Even China has recognized the sense in this transitional fuel and is already shifting from coal to natural gas. So, as there are collaboration between China and the United States by reducing through natural gas, it already seems like there will be a reduction, and we don't need to currently invest any more money in other sources that are not proven, because wind power is unreliable, solar power, they only produce energy intermittently, and to base change our entire economy around these sources would be unreasonable in the short term right now, because those technologies are currently not there yet. So on balances, this definitely outweighs that we should have a transitional period through natural gas, because it would not destroy our economy.
Very nice. Thank you. Stay in the middle where the camera can see both of you. Thank you. 4 minutes and 1 second. Perfect.
Just because United States reduction
Look
of
out here,
carbon
Casey.
emission will have minimal effect on the resulting effects of global warming, does it mean that we shouldn't be even trying to make a change, especially when U.S. is one of the major contributors to this environmental problem?
Well, we shouldn't be reducing our economy in any way by investing in unsmart sources, technologies that cannot support us right now. And there's no reason why the United States should jump in, because, as stated by NASA, that climate change will continue to happen with or without us, and especially if China and India are still acting in the same way, it won't do anything to stop climate change.
At this point of global warming and environmental problems, do you think that the economic growth is more important than saving the environment?
Economic growth is the most important thing, because it can help the environment. As I stated that from the Economist article, that if we have a healthy economy, we can actually have more flexibility to invest in resources.
Good. Thank you very much. Chair will now hear a rebuttal from the leader of the government.
The opposition said that United States unilateral effort in reducing the carbon emission will not have any influence on stopping the global warming. However, I disagree, because since the United States shares 16% of entire carbon emission, which is which is a big portion of the entire global emission, reducing the amount will have an impact on mitigating the effects of global warming. The opposition also said that United States unilateral policies would not affect other countries. However, I disagree, because starting with the United States can impose other forms of regulation, such as carbon market or Kyoto Protocol, as stated, as it has been in the past.
Therefore, no, I'm just helping you with the fourth step.
Therefore, I propose that United States should unilaterally
Thank you.
reduce carbon emission. Do I still have time?
Yes.
1 minute.
The opposition also said that the economic growth should be considered more valuable than environmental sustainability. However, I disagree, because global warming is a serious problem, and without any regulations, there will be 6 degrees Celsius of temperature increase instead of 3 degrees Celsius temperature increase. Therefore, I propose that United States should unilaterally reduce carbon emission.
30 seconds. Do one more.
The opposition argued that we should rely on current methods of energy production and invest in sustainable energy. However, I disagree because relying on current methods of energy production, which produces carbon emission, will worsen the problem, and we need to focus our attention to saving the environment. Therefore, I propose that the United States should reduce its carbon emissions.
Good, thank you. Chair will now hear from the Leader of the Opposition for a rebuttal.
The proposition said that we should follow conventions and frameworks such as the UN framework in Copenhagen that is designed to keep temperatures under 2 degrees. But I disagree because statistics show that warming will continue to happen above 2 degrees whether or not we continue to pollute. Therefore, we should not unilaterally reduce carbon emissions because it will not have an effect. Global temperatures, the proposition said that investment in renewable energy will save money, but I disagree because the current technologies are more expensive than the current energy sources, and therefore we should not invest in these because they are too expensive, and we should not unilaterally reduce our emissions.
Good.
Also, the proposition said that Kyoto, we should follow models such as the Kyoto Protocol, as it would help collaboration between multiple countries. However, I disagree because the Kyoto Protocol is a failed policy that did not have the United States and China and India sign it, because if one country doesn't go in, the others won't cooperate. Therefore, we should not unilaterally stop our carbon emissions.
How much time do you have left?
Half a minute.
You got a half a minute. One more.
The proposition said that we should invest in wind and solar. However, I disagree because wind power wind and solar are intermittent, and they only they have high maintenance costs, and natural gas is a cleaner and cheaper fuel source for the current times. Therefore, we should not change our energy plans.
Time.
Thank you very much. Just give them a nice round of applause. You may cross the room and shake hands with each other, congratulate each other on a debate well done. Thank you. Now it's time for you to individually fill out your ballots and decide, yes, take that evil hat off. Okay, good. Pass your ballots over quickly. Oh, can you hand me that? No, the other one. No. Yes. Yes.
Can I get two more of those ballots?
2 more ballots. Yeah. Votes.
Those are all.
Thank you. Give this back to Lala. Has everyone filled out their ballot? One more. On a 4-9 decision, the decision goes to the opposition. start over on this side today. Let's start in the back. What'd you like? Stand up, say your name.
Are you sure you want me to do it? Because I was listening through the door.
Listening through the door? No, I don't want you to do this. Were you listening to the whole debate? Can you lose the hat? Thank you.
Celestine.
Hi, Celestine.
Hi. I thought that both debaters did well in their delivery. They both seemed to know what they were talking about. And Hazy did a really good job with cross-examination, which I really appreciated. And that helps sway my decision to first Thank you.
Great. Improvement. Let's go here.
Hi, I'm Shireen.
Hi, Shireen.
I think an improvement for both of you guys would be like just to have like be more confident, have like a more commanding presence because your arguments were good. It would just give more credibility to them.
Yes. Let me talk about this briefly, and then we'll have to move on. Thank you both for jumping on this, and I realize that this is there's a lot of goo out there to wade through, isn't there? There's a lot of information to look through. Let me look at Hazy's case first. I liked your case. I thought the one thing that it was lacking was the modeling that most people argue and the power and the influence of the United States to be a model that others would follow. And I don't know if you saw any evidence of that or if you came across anything like that, but that's one of the persuasive arguments of why we should unilaterally do it. We do it, U.S. does it, well maybe we should do it too. Sort of a persuasive thing. You wisely didn't mention much about you did mention China, but not India, and India was weirdly absent from this debate, and I fault both debaters on that, even though it was part of the proposition, and they're a major polluter, right? Right. On your solution, even your own solution on your Hauser and Mohan study about the energy mix acknowledged that natural gas was going to have to be a part of the mix of the future, right? Yeah. What I needed more from you in terms of solvency to be persuaded to do it was that wind and solar is up and ready to go, and we don't need anything in the transition, and we can do this pretty quickly, and we're ready to go on it. And I didn't get that enough to grant adherence to your overall case. Yes, I agree your cross-ex was very strong, and your refutation was excellent. Well done with the 4 steps. Good job on that. Nick, you surprised me because I thought you had been indoctrinated by the people in South Campus, but I guess you were able to suck it up for at least 10 minutes and argue some common sense, which was good. That was good. What the one big piece of information that would have been most persuasive for your case is that pie chart that shows in a pie when you look at who are the major polluters. There's 3 big polluters, U.S., India, and China. Take one away, you still got 2 big polluters coming down the pike, just spewing into the air and causing all kinds of problems. And I know you said that, but you didn't really stress that enough, especially with India. So I like your saying I'm not going to argue whether global warming. That was good. That was wise. That was very good. Not to argue whether it exists or not. The climate deniers and all that silliness. That was fine. I think you were wise to argue on the economic level that, we have to transition economically and wisely. And if we do it economically and wisely, we'll have the money to pay for the green revolution. If we just go to the green revolution, it's going to be very expensive, as Germany learned the hard way. Nick, I want you to learn to, when you watch yourself tonight on YouTube, I want you to see that you kind of say all the words the same. I want you to learn to stress key words and stress important words, and to say there'll be no reduction in carbon dioxide. The temperature won't go down, in your slug lines and that sort of thing. Which would be good. And your quote on, if the U.S. unilaterally does it, China, India, still going to pollute, was a good quote. How big is the problem? Yes, U.S. is number 8. That was good. Why do we have the problem? Yes. And your solution of transitioning to natural gas, your Economist 2014 evidence was very persuasive to me, that it's a cheap and easy way to get us through till we can get to the green revolution, and it's a pretty clean way. And we've actually had reductions with natural gas over, say, coal. Will the solution work? Your Lester Brown stuff was good, and you kind of skipped the advantages to your proposals, didn't you? You were running out of time, so you didn't get to that. And you skipped India. But your cross-ex, I faulted you a little on, you asked Casey, well, how are you going to pay for that? And then she told you didn't really have a follow-up, or you just asked the question, let her go on. And she gave good information back. So you didn't really ask any questions that you use later on in your argumentation, say. And your refutation was good. You've learned the 4 steps of, she said, I disagree because, therefore, we should not unilaterally. So you did a good job all the way through. Thank you very much. Okay.
You want the cross next, right?
Oh yeah, let me have the cross.